most challenging time from a confidence perspective, and how did you pull yourself out of it?
Definitely IVF. And that's not a confidence in terms of body or appearance. It was just feeling like such a failure. I was used to getting on that table and being told the heartbeat stopped. I got to the point where I couldn't work out if I wanted to have a baby or if I'm so hard and competitive with myself that I was just so angry at myself for not being able to do it. And I just felt such shame and embarrassment for not doing what a woman's body should be able to do.
What's your attitude towards aging?
Aging sucks in that, like, the years are going so fast. That's the part I don't like about aging.
Yeah,
Is that I want to pause the good bits and redo them. I don't worry about my face in my age.
Yeah.
I just want life to slow down a bit. Life is meant to be experienced, breakups, death, infertility, and it's great to have help. So just be kind to yourself if you're going through it, because it's you. Like, you've got to be nice to yourself first.
I'm Sigourney Cantelo and welcome to Beautiful Inside. I've been a beauty and health journalist reporting on how to be beautiful on the outside for 22 years. Now I want to explore inner beauty as well. I've been influenced to make this shift by my own mental health journey, and it's prompted me to look for people like me who are willing to share their story. How do they care for their inner self while also attending to the outer? What have they learned about finding strength and courage and happiness in today's ever more challenging world? And what are the strategies that they've found to maintain that radiance, that joie de vivre, the inner spark that comes about when our minds and bodies are in balance? Come with me as we go inside the homes, routines, and inner lives of fascinating people. We'll discuss the science and psychology of beauty and self-care and give you the tools to look and feel the very best you ever have, inside and out.
Welcome to Beautiful Inside by Beauty Kate, where we delve deep into the fascinating interplay between inner and outer beauty and explore how both aspects influence our confidence and self-perception. This season is proudly brought to you by Cure Skincare. Now, I first discovered Cure when they introduced me to their groundbreaking microinfusion system, which is a dermastamping innovation that uses active serums deep within the skin. It wasn't long before I fell in love with their other products, incorporating their LED neck and face masks into my routine, and I've recently been embracing their newly launched microinfusion targeted patches. What I like about Cure Skincare is that they work with leading dermatologists and they pair proven ingredients with really innovative delivery systems. And as you know on Beautiful Inside, we believe in the transformative power of taking time for skincare and self-care, and I'm all about being pro-aging with confidence. Cure shares this vision and strive to enhance our natural beauty through innovative skincare solutions that resonate with our philosophy of celebrating every stage of life with grace and vibrancy. I would recommend you jump on the Cure website and check out their amazing offerings. There are some incredible before and afters on there and videos. I also have a discount code for you. Plus, we are also running an amazing competition where you can win one of 5 of their customizable LED masks. So I'll pop both of those links in our show notes.
Beautiful Inside acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land that this podcast is recorded on, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Welcome back to Beautiful Inside. I'm your host Sigourney Cantelo, and we have part 2 of our conversation with the fabulous Leigh Campbell. If you caught the first part, you'll know how much wisdom and realness Leigh brings to the table. We explored everything from her incredible career journey to the raw and honest realities of juggling life as a mother, entrepreneur, and media powerhouse. But trust me, there's so much more to uncover in this episode. Today we go back to Leigh's childhood and how it was to shape who she was to become. Plus, she gets really candid about the highs and lows of social media, how it's been both a challenge for her and a tool for good in her life. And of course, we dive deeper into self-care and her sacred 6 and find out how she balances everything amidst all the craziness. You won't want to miss Leigh's insights on balancing life with grace, grit, and a sense of humour. So settle in, get comfy, and let's jump back in with Leigh Campbell. So looking back on your career, are there 3 key things that you learned, say, that would have helped you get to where you are today?
No, 1. When you get into magazines, you think it's going to be, and media, you think it's going to be glamorous and cool and fabulous, and it is. But it's the incredibly hardworking, down-to-earth women who want to help other women rise and work hard and be collaborative that survive, that are a joy to work with. And if you're not there for the right reasons, you won't last in media. Media does not pay well. It's much better than nurses and teachers, which is ridiculous. But it's, you're not rolling in it. So you've got to love it. And I think loving it is about who you work with. Cosmo was a dream. To decide to leave Cosmo was so hard, but I just wasn't challenged anymore. Huffington Post was a dream. I learned digital and I loved that team. And my team at Mamma Mia are amazing. And so I work with strong, powerful, understanding, clever women, and that I love working with awesome women. And that's what I've done for 20 years in various forms.
Yep.
And that's
And now with
about
Brillo,
who. And like I
your
said,
bestie.
my bestie. Yes, so Tegan
Teague,
came to
yep.
me almost 2 years ago now. Oh, well, no, we launched 2 years ago. She came to me and said, let's do pregnancy and postpartum body care, because she owns Bump Day Spa, two in Sydney, one in Brisbane. And You Know Beauty. She said, You Know Beauty, I Know Pregnancy. And so we launched some products and a brand.
Just exhausting thinking about it, is it?
Someone said to me the other day, oh, was it you? Like, how much do you spend on Brillo a week? Like one day? And I'm like, no, 24/7.
Oh, no, I don't think that was me.
That was
I,
you. You would know.
I know.
You would know. And yeah, we've been 2 years in November. We just moved.
2 years? Wow.
Yeah, we just moved into a new, we keep moving.
Because you're just growing?
Yeah, and we just had warehouse and then office and separate. So now we've got warehouse and office.
Where's that?
Down the road in Randwick. Yeah, her and I are 7 minutes apart, and we found a commercial space in the middle.
That's amazing.
And it's really great. It's really hard. It's so joyful. We're not taking an income from it yet because we decided to hire instead, because we both have other jobs and other incomes, so we can afford to, live off those while we invest in the business. So we've hired in roles of things we don't want to do or can't do.
Yes.
And just don't have the capacity to do.
Like logistics and stuff like that? Or
That's Tegan. She's so good at that stuff. She can do a spreadsheet.
Oh my
Thank
God, I love spreadsheet people. My husband's one of those.
Yes, and she'll be like, pay attention, like if we're in a Zoom or something, and I'm like, oh, the iconic.
I can't even look at a spreadsheet.
My brain won't understand it. It's like reading hieroglyphic. Anyway. It's been such a joy. It's definitely a scary time. We're investing all this money back into the business, but we have the best fun. So fun.
How good. How good. You guys balance each other beautifully.
We
like
do. She's very type B. I'm very type A. She's bossy when I need to be bossed around, when I get a bit off my leash and ADD.
And she'll just be like,
yeah, she'll be like, Leigh, that. You were doing that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm just going to go to Kmart. And she's like, no, that. And I'm like, okay. And we have such a close relationship that we can.
That's so nice.
So it's a joy, and I hope that it continues to be successful, and I love working on it.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell.
And the product thing too.
Yeah, you know what you're doing, like you've got all that experience and honed it very well.
Thank you.
Now, look, going back to before beautiful Alexander.
Yes.
You've been quite open about the challenges that you faced with IVF and miscarriages. Can you tell us a little bit about those years and what that was like?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I've kind of closed that chapter, and I obviously not having another child, but I was infertility girl for a long time there, and I hosted a Mamma Mia podcast at the time, Get Me Pregnant. But we tried to have a baby, didn't work. You were like, hello, we did the thing. Everyone told me it was that easy. And long story short, we went through rounds and rounds and rounds of IVF. We got 52 embryos in the end. None of them became a baby. And then our fertility doctor said,
How many rounds of IVF did you do?
4. So I have, and this is what's interesting. I did the egg test store thing, the hormone level that tests, and they're like, oh, you're through the roof, you're fine. So I was like, great. Shitload of eggs, shocking quality, but you don't find out the quality until you do IVF. So, if anyone's been through IVF, you go from egg and sperm to then an embryo, and you've kind of got to get to day 5 to either freeze or fresh, transfer, or test. And yeah, through that whole process, it just was proven that my egg quality was really, really, really poor. So I had a lot, but they were terrible, rotten eggs. And I got that hyper, whatever it is, that you can get from the drugs.
Oh, no.
No, I can't remember the terms now. But each time I had it, I was too sick that they couldn't do a fresh transfer, so they'd have to freeze them.
Oh, my gosh. Where were you working at that point? Mamma Mia? No.
I was firstly at Huffington Post, and my editor, Tori, at the time was amazing, because I was so open with her. I said, we're going to have to do IVF. And she said, go to my doctor. She'd done IVF for her beautiful boys. And so she knew, like, I'm coming, I've got to go to the clinic, or I'm coming in early. And my boss knew. That was great. But yeah, we just never got a baby. And by that stage, I'd been made redundant because HuffPost closed. Started at Mamma Mia.
Was that terribly stressful, the redundancy, or did you just take it in your stride because you're like, I know something will come up? Or?
It was stressful at the time. It was like December, and then Mamma Mia had been emailing me saying, come and work here, and I was like, no, go away.
Oh, perfect. So
then they heard about the redundancy, and I was like, and so then I took on a role at Mamma Mia. So then I kind of had 7 weeks of summer leave before I started Mamma Mia. So that it worked out well once I knew my next step.
Yeah.
So as a very anxious person like you, I don't like
not
an open end. Yeah.
Yes.
I started at Mamma Mia. I thought I was really professional, but I remember on the 3rd week, a burst into tears with my boss Holly at the time over something so irrational, and that was the IVF medication.
Yeah, the hormones and stuff.
Yeah, so long story short, we just said no. The doctor was like, you know, we tried ICSI, which is when they inject the sperm. We tried a million things and none of it worked. And so they were like, you're going to be a professional couple. And, you know, we were like, okay, because our life is on hold. We were unhappy.
So you gave up, like...
Yeah, well, 52 embryos that are all duds. I mean, I think I had 3 or 4 put in, but otherwise they just through testing.
So were you just grieving?
I just on pause. And, you know, to have fertility or conception sex for 3 years with your husband's not sexy.
No, that's really tough on your marriage.
Oh, it was just gross. And I got to the point where I couldn't work out if I wanted to have a baby or if I'm so hard and competitive with myself that I was just so angry at myself for not being able to do it. And then I was like,
that breaks my heart.
Yeah. So we went on a very expensive holiday, bought a $12,000 white couch because we were going to be a professional couple. And we get back from the holiday and I'm like, I don't feel very well. But I'd had a bunch of pregnancies.
That's like a miracle.
I know. But I'd had a bunch of pregnancies and what's called a miscarriage. So you get, you know, the scan, the heartbeat's gone. And then, so I was used to getting on that table and being told the heartbeat stopped a bunch of times.
You're reading your stories about miscarriages.
Yeah, all my
I've cried so many times reading your stories.
I've had 4 DNCs for miscarriages and 1 natural miscarriage.
Oh.
And so it wasn't until the 20-week scan I turned to Rich and I was like, we're pregnant. And he was like, yeah. And the doctor was like, yeah. So I didn't really let myself. No. And my beautiful Alexander came along. And then through the death of my dad and seeing my brother care so much and be there for me and my dad and my mum, I thought I want to give Alexander a sibling. And so we tried again and I was like, my body knows what to do now.
Yeah.
No. Did IVF again, same deal. And then I just was like, you know what? I've got this beautiful baby in front of me. Yeah. Why am I now focusing on another baby? And I just decided to focus on my beautiful boy.
Yeah, and you have, and you do. You're so, you know, you're such an hands-on mum. And
I try to be. I mean, I'm not great. I'm good at playing, I think, because I'm a bit of a child.
Are you? Oh, I'm useless at playing.
Now that he's, you know, 4 and 5 has been much easier. At 3, they're just like lunatics. But now we can make up funny stories. And of course, I'm in trouble. I get it wrong all the time. But he's inquisitive and he's fun. And look, I don't want to do it all day long. But I definitely each day put aside the time to play whatever's in his mind.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Play is so important. And it's good for you too.
It's good for me. I love it. It's fun.
Is there anything that you have learned about, you know, that you want people to understand about miscarriage and IVF?
Oh, yeah.
So many things, probably.
The biggest thing I've learned is that, I mean, you think no one's talking about it, but everyone's talking about it, but it's not until you enter the world of infertility and miscarriage that you're like, oh, there is a lot of space. I just wish I'd been kinder to myself. I felt my first miscarriage, I remember getting up on the bed and she was like, oh, okay, I'm going up to your bladder because I can't, you know, and she said there's no heartbeat. And I just felt such shame and embarrassment. I just felt like such a failure. And I went home and I got in the bath. I remember texting my editor at Huffington Post. I said, the scan didn't go well. There's no heartbeat. I might be late tomorrow or something. She's like, no, you're taking some time off. But I was like, no, I'm not, because I don't deserve to, like, you know. I just hated myself for not doing what a woman's body should be able to do. So my only, you know, be kind to yourself. I really enjoyed working through all of it. I don't think I could have just like sat still because I needed, you know, I didn't want to just ruminate on that.
Yeah.
You're getting calls from the clinics every day and you know, come on for blood test or embryos are day 3 or 2 died or whatever. I don't know. So just be kind to yourself if you're going through it, because it's you. Like, you've got to be nice to yourself first.
Well, you also, I mean, and this segues beautifully into my next question and how this all plays out in your mental health, because you are creating, you know, this environment for your baby and you know, and but never that we should think that, you know, that the stress we put on ourselves has done anything to the baby, obviously.
But you want studies that show, you know, through baby booms and wars, like the most stressful period in history, there's a lot of babies.
Exactly.
So, like,
that's not it. But then you were relaxed on your holiday and then you conceived. So
yes.
But then they always say, oh, you just need to relax.
Oh, and if one more person said that to me, I was going to whack them on the head.
Yeah, and understand.
Look, I don't want women to think that stress or working hard is going to cause them to miscarriage. Miscarry, that can't happen. However, just be kind to yourself because you deserve it.
Gentle.
Be gentle with yourself, and you know, it's not your fault. and there's medicine there to help you in various ways, whether it works or not. You know, I had a beautiful Uber drive the other day, and he said, my wife and I have been driving for 5 years, because he was asking about my son. He said, do you think it will happen? And I said, I don't know, but I hope so. And, you know, he said, did you drink coffee? Did you do this? And I said, oh, I remember trying everything. Like, I went to some spiritual healer who found my soul in her kitchen drawer. Like, I did everything.
Soul in her
I
kitchen
had
drawer.
crystals, and you know me, I'm not woo-woo.
No.
I did everything. I did acupuncture, and then I'll just get up and take them out. I did everything.
And do you think in retrospect any of those things helped contribute to Alexander coming when he
No.
did? No.
He just happened to be that egg that month. There was one decent egg out of all my shitty eggs.
Oh, darling.
Unless you believe, if you believe, but I'm not a believer
Yeah.
in that stuff.
No, and that's fine. And it works for some people because they do believe, and that's why it works.
Yeah, exactly.
And how did these experiences, the grief, the infertility, how do they impact your mental health, and what have they taught you about?
Good question. I mean, at the time, incredibly hard, particularly the IVF. I mean, the dad stuff will never go away. I think of him at the weirdest times. And like when I see an old man walking down the street, I just burst into tears, and people think I'm weird. I mean, as in like I'm just walking down the street crying. Hard. But I think my mental health has always been my unique little brain. And in that, at least when it's something circumstantial, there's something to blame it on. Whereas when things are just good and you're a bit mental or depressed or anxious, and things are good, you're like, brain, come on.
Yeah.
Things
Get
are
with the
good.
program.
Why are you sad? Whereas when there's a sad thing to be sad about, at least it makes sense to me or to other people, and particularly Rich, who's so great about my mental health. But, you know, if something sad's happening, there's a reason.
You
But
can
then,
point to that and say,
that.
Yeah.
But otherwise my brain just will decide that we're depressed for a few weeks or time for a mental breakdown when things are great. And then that part's a bit like, can you not? We don't have time. So I prefer when there's a reason.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
sense?
Absolutely. That makes perfect
feel
sense.
incredibly grateful for the amazing life that you have built, but the amazing things happening in your life when your brain's just like, nah.
Yeah, not playing.
Not playing. Don't like this.
And you've been very open about medication. Was it Lexapro that you've been on all this time?
No, I
what
was, I don't know if we're allowed to say the names, but Lexapro and Zoloft at various times. And now I'm on, well, I don't know. Now I'm not on an SSRI because when I went back on medication, I said, they make me put on weight and they take away my libido. I don't really want that. And my psychiatrist, who again I adore, said, let's try a non-SSRI, which is, it's an S something, there's another letter.
It's not Brintellix.
No.
Oh, that's right. We had this talk. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you told me about that.
And it's fantastic for me. I take it every morning, except if I forget, which I try not to do, because then I end up being Claire Danes in Homeland, which I shouldn't joke about, but I actually do. Like, I remember once we went to Melbourne, Alexander was a baby and I'd forgot to pack it. So after 2 days, I was like, shit. And then I was like to Rich, and I was just wandering around the city and I said, I've got to go to my happy place, which is Zara. And then I was like, this isn't working.
Zara's not working.
No.
This is serious.
Yeah, and I ended up having to get some emergence, like, because withdrawal from
SSRI.
antidepressants.
It's...
You know, they've done studies where psychiatrists did it explicitly to see what happened, and some suicided because coming off them cold turkey is just incredibly bad. So even though I know why, it's like, oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's very physical. It's awful.
Yeah.
So anyway, I take that every morning.
And do you find, like, you know that it's keeping you on the straight and narrow? Or has it been so long you just don't know now?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
But that's not to say it's cure-all.
Yeah.
It just kind of helps.
Yeah.
It definitely helps, but I'm still me, quirks and all.
Yeah, I was the same. I found that it just loosened the vice around my chest.
Exactly.
Like, I would get to the end of every day before and I was just like, why haven't I not done enough? I haven't done enough.
I've got to have a wine because I need to relax.
Exactly. And then that makes you worse and then you can't sleep and then you're up ruminating. And so it just dulled that for me.
Yes, it definitely helps, but I just don't have serotonin in the levels, or dopamine with ADHD in the levels that most people's regular brain do. So I seek it elsewhere.
And
that's through medication.
Yes.
And also achievement through work and maybe too much shopping. What are you going to do?
And what role does therapy play in your life?
Therapy is life-changing. It's annoying to fit in. It's hard. So I see my psychiatrist every couple of months because he's like $500 a week. I mean, sorry, a session.
Shit.
But he's more sort of like intellectual discussion medication, and then I have a new coach who I see weekly.
Oh, like a life coach.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Where did you find her?
She came recommended through a friend. Her name's Alana.
Yeah.
And some of it's quite woo, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. However, I thought I've tried everything else for 42 years.
Give it a go.
And this other friend, he's very like me. And he's like, I'm doing it and I'm liking it. So I was like, all right. And she has been incredible, you know, uncovering some things from my childhood that have made me how I am. Not bad things.
Yes.
But just
Self-beliefs,
and
usually.
the roles that I play.
Yeah.
In my friendships and my family. And she's taught me how to breathe. Like, that is so simple, but because I'm such a fast pace, I've always had shallow breaths, and just to teach me how to breathe, because I don't breathe into my body, and you know, it helps me sleep. We do a lot of weird things. She's taught me weird things. She's taught me to do this tapping technique.
Yeah, I saw you tapping the other day and you were like, yeah.
And you know, I'm just trying it because I've not tried this stuff before. And she's also like, she said, I don't want to turn off who you are in terms of speed and tenacious and busy, and this is who you are, and you're creative and you'll always be that, but you are feeling like you're on a treadmill you can't get off. Let's teach you how to get on and off the treadmill as you choose.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's been fantastic. She's honestly, and I never thought I would have a coach in that way, but she's just really realistic.
Is there any other tools or strategies that she's given you that have been game changer?
So many, but I forgot them.
So
I
many.
have to listen to like things. Like
Yes.
when I'm having a panic attack or a trauma response, there's things I listen to. I never do my homework. This is she said to me last session, take in more life. Like take in. So I made this little canvas that says
that's
don't
cute.
take on more life, take in more
I saw
life.
that on your Instagram.
And that's because I'm always taking more and more on, and I'm never in the moment because I'm always thinking about all the shit I've got to do. And she's like, take it in, just take it. Yeah, so she's
absorb it.
teaching me how to take in.
I love that. What are the mental health non-negotiables that you factor into your life now?
I should.
Should's an illegal word.
I know, medication. Look, I'm better when I'm exercising.
So you don't meditate or anything like that?
No, I mean, sort of what I do with her is a bit of that.
Yeah.
But I never do my
Sometimes
homework.
you need someone to hold your hand to
I
do that
need
stuff.
an ADHD.
And to make you do
it's
it.
called body doubling. So when I get really overwhelmed with things, one of my best friends, Nadia, comes over and will be my body double, and she's just company and keeping me on track. Rich body doubled me for the move because I got so overwhelmed.
As in just guides you what to do?
And just is there to talk to and saying, okay, nope, yep, let's do that. And because when we were moving,
That's awesome.
I just walked around the house with Post-its like a crazy person, like posting, keep it. And so body doubling is huge for me if I have something that I am ruminating on. I should exercise more, but I don't. But I know that I'm better when I do.
Yes.
Medication, sleep. You know
Sleep.
what? My WhatsApp groups with my best girlfriends, like I've got 4 or 5 different groups, and at night, that's therapy to me to just be like, oh my God, we're all so busy. We're all so stressed. How is everyone? Here's a meme. Your kid said this, your husband's a dick. Okay, good night. Like that's
that's so
therapy.
nice.
And it's just unfortunately mostly the only way we can all catch up, you know, in this sandwich generation life stage. So that's one of
It gets easier as they get older.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just want Alexander
Just gets
to
more
make his...
intellectually challenging, but like physically it's, I mean, we know
we're
that
going
from...
through the whole religion thing at the moment. But I just want him to be able to get up and go down and make his breakfast. Like,
Yeah. Oh, God, probably 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have toast. He's not going to burn himself. Just
Oh,
cereal.
my kids have been doing cereal. Max used to we used to just lob a banana into the cotton. He would peel it.
Oh my God, I should sit up at the station. No, but he's always in bed with me anyway. He's a mummy's boy.
We were
He's
pretty
a
low
mummy's boy.
key. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, what was the most challenging time from a confidence perspective, and how did you pull yourself out of it?
Definitely IVF. And that's not a confidence in terms of body or appearance. It was just feeling like such a failure. Like I hated myself. I literally hated myself. And so I guess that's not being confident.
No.
Otherwise, I think I'm pretty confident because I just
that's
don't
you.
care. And I'm not confident in that, like, I think I'm the shit or I think I'm amazingly good looking. I just, if I'm being kind to myself, which is hard, then I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, as long as Rich is happy and we're happy and my son and my family are happy. But I'm so hard on myself that if I'm being kind to myself, I feel confident. But I don't really get my confidence from external,
That's great.
places.
Self-worth.
I never kind of have. Like I think in my 20s, I was like, oh, I should try this fad diet. Oh, I've got a fat tummy. And then I was just like, oh, fuck it. And 5 minutes later, I would have Tim Tams. Like I've never really
Yeah, you're a snackfluencer.
Oh, wait till you see the snacks. You're doing a tour?
Oh, I would love a tour. Can we? We'll do that next. Are we going to show you the wardrobe too?
But no, IVF was really hard on my confidence in that I just felt like such a failure. But
Sorry.
otherwise, it's okay. We got through it.
We got through it. Okay, what's your attitude towards aging? And both personally and within the beauty industry?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we're a little bit skewed because we are like, what? You haven't had Botox?
Yeah.
I mean, I first got Botox at 27. I stopped getting anti-wrinkle.
And we get it for free often.
Well, I haven't had it for 2 years because I started to look like a woman in her 40s who got anti-wrinkle. And so now everything moves, and I don't do it, not because I don't think it's great, and I'm sure having it for some time over the years was a bit preventative, but also I don't care. I don't have the time. I use lots of good skincare. I'm meant to have some lines,
Yeah.
They are definitely there.
I can't frown at the moment. I go on and off. I go through periods.
Yeah, I mean, obviously through all of IVF.
This is too much though, I think.
No, you look great. Through all of IVF and pregnancy and breastfeeding, there's none of that. So I definitely had it earlier in my career. Probably should be getting it now. Oh, look, aging sucks in that, like, it's almost September. Like, the years are going so fast. I'm watching my son get bigger and my mum get older. I don't feel like it's just going too fast. I'm not looking after my body, and so physically I feel it.
Yes.
My back hurts. I'm 42. I have my sauna.
Oh, all the peri stuff we've talked
The
about.
peri stuff,
I
like
think a
now
lot of our
there's
issues are
stairs.
just due to peri.
Yeah, and we've got a infrared sauna blanket thing, and I just get in that and hope
Oh,
it
I've got one of
fixes me.
those. Isn't it the best?
Yes,
Winter.
but I should be exercising. I should be
hurts.
eating better.
Everything
It
hurts.
hurts.
No, I mean,
yes.
sorry, my body hurts.
Yes,
And that's why I
and
get in the
it's
sauna
just
blanket.
Going up and down the like
Yeah.
my body is 42, and I've taken it for granted that I have been energetic, a morning person,
Yeah.
ADHD, hyper everything for so long, and now my body at 42 is like, ow.
Yeah.
So it's more the aging of the physical health and that stresses me out, less about what I look like.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the barometer of a child and an elderly parent and watching that, and it feels like it's going so fast. That's the part I don't like about aging.
Yeah. 100%.
Is that I want to pause the good bits and redo them.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit about my face. Like, of course I do. I do treatments, I do makeup, but I don't worry about my face looking my age.
Yeah.
I just want life to slow down a bit.
I agree with you. It's very terrifying. What's the biggest misconception about beauty or wellness that you wish people would stop believing?
I think beauty and wellness are two very different worlds. Like, to me, beauty is a serum or a lip liner or a hairspray. I think wellness is a lot more dangerous in that there are vulnerable women and girls out there who have access to social media and people are selling things.
Yeah.
I think what really irks me at the moment, I used to be a big, big believer in manifestation. And then I couldn't have a baby. My dad died. And so I believe you can manifest working really hard to earn money, maybe for a handbag, if that's your focus. But I think that's a goal.
Yeah.
Manifestation won't save you. And I have a real problem with people selling manifestation as a tool or as a product, because the people that are likely to do that are vulnerable. And they're probably looking for a solution to something that they're not in control of. And when it involves illness or death or infertility, manifestation is not going to save you.
Highly dangerous, isn't
So
it?
yeah, it has its place if it works for you. I put a picture of a Italian soccer player on my manifestation board before I went to Croatia, and then I met Rich, who's Greek and plays footy. Same. But
Yeah,
but
enough.
that wasn't life or death if it didn't happen, and it probably didn't happen from that. But I just think selling hope is really, I just
dangerous.
don't like that in the wellness world.
Especially when there's health involved and fertility.
Yeah, and you see people
And
go
love,
for
even
natural-
like that, the love thing. Yeah, like you can manifest your.
and breakup coaches now will coach you through a breakup. I just think life is meant to be experienced, breakups, death, infertility, and it's great to have help. But when someone is predatory in terms of taking money from people when they're in a helpless situation and it's likely something they can't manifest, I find that a problem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, set goals. I'm a huge goal setter. LCC is, I get an income from Mamma Mia, but my other business is I work for myself. So then I set goals of what I'll earn over the year and divide that by the month, and then take
And
away.
are you proactive with brands? Do you pitch ideas to them?
No, I mean, luckily I don't have to
You're just
in that.
responsive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
I think, and it would be the same for you. So many brands come to me, particularly beauty now, fashion, and I'm doing the fashion podcast a lot when I was doing kids stuff, but I'm not doing kids stuff anymore. Like One brand wanted to pay me wads of cash to say I liked their product, but it was terrible.
Yeah. No.
So, yeah. Oh, gosh, no. I mean, you've got to be authentic. Otherwise, your audience won't be there.
Right. As soon as they realise, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a huge goal setter, but I'm not a manifester because manifest feels like I'll just wish for something and hope it happens. Just set a goal and work hard.
That's exactly right. Can you share something that you regret buying or trying, whether it's a beauty product or something else in your life?
Everything. No, I don't. I have ADHD. I get my dopamine from checking out at cart. Then things turn up and I'm like, who bought that? What is that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Like last year's Black Friday sales, Sigourney, I would have got like 20 parcels in 1 week because I can't remember what I bought. Thankfully, I can return a lot. It's like the iconic.
Yeah.
I'm just really trying to be mindful of what I buy online. It's not that I've regretted the item, it's the volume. And I really had to learn how to not feed myself dopamine through shopping.
Yes.
I mean, it's still a thing, but it's definitely much better than it was. So not an item, but just...
Well, it's process addictions. When I was in SPP, there were people there with obviously gaming, but shopping addictions.
I'm addicted to everything that I'm addicted to. My phone, shopping, work, like everything we discussed. Because I spoke to Sig about going into the same place she went to, and she said, do these tests.
Yeah, did you do them? Yeah,
yes,
you did them.
I was off the charts for all of the ones that I thought I would be.
Well,
But I know.
it's taking the time out that's the hard
I can't
part.
take 3 weeks away from Alexander. That's the only thing. I'd make time otherwise. But
Maybe one day.
well, it's
It's there for you if you need it.
So my friend just taught me how to use Do Not Disturb mode because I'm 100. So now I put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I don't scroll or shop. I do that at 7 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So I'm with my family. So I'm using my coach and my psychiatrist to set realistic goals in terms of dopamine.
That's great.
For myself.
And now we understand how our brains work as ADHD
Yeah.
people. We're like, oh, that's why I'm so attracted to that.
Yes.
And to wine and to all the fun things.
Correct.
Because we're just looking for bursts of dopamine.
Perfect. And so I just am being realistic and falling off the wagon with shopping and phone and work. And
Is there a treatment though? Like, I mean, we've tried all the beauty treatments. I know you probably don't want to put anyone in it, but like, is there something where you went, oh, I wish I'd never done that? Or like,
I remember we all used
fat freezing or like any of those?
No.
Didn't
Oh,
do
I
any
did
of
have
those?
Stella, which had tightened my vag, but I sat on it wrong, and now I've tightened my wee hole, and now
That's right. You told me about that. You were like, don't do it.
well, do it if you want
If
a
it's
tighter
right.
vag.
No,
so
but
it's like
But you can actually have an overactive pelvic floor, and it often
So I think I just didn't listen to the instructions and sat on it a bit wrong. And now, because I always need to wee, like I'm busting now, but now when I get onto wee, I have to push my wee out so much because I think it closed my wee hole.
no,
Which is great if you're stuck on a bus or something and can't wee. But
Do you get up a lot in the night to go?
at least 4 times. Because my ADHD meds make me so thirsty, I drink 3 to 4 litres
At least you're getting your water in.
Yeah, but last year when I rapidly lost a lot of weight, turns out from anxiety, I had a colonoscopy, an endoscopy, I had MRI, CT, everything. And it was only stress, which is something I'm working on. But my bloods came back and said I had very low sodium levels because I
What you're drinking there
Yes.
looks cloudy.
Yes, and you shouldn't just take sodium unless you've got low sodium. And I said to my doctor, oh, I eat shitload of McDonald's. Should I eat more? And he's like, no, that's not the right sodium.
You can't just have chips.
No, shame. Because I was drinking so much water.
Is that salty water?
Yeah, but it's got a yummy flavour. It's not just salt.
Which one is it? I know those
sachets.
ones,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. But don't self-prescribe. Make sure you've had your blood test.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just wasting your money. And supplements, if they're not needed, can make you really unwell. Get, gallstones or kidney stones. So,
Have you ever had anything go wrong?
not really, but that's because I don't take supplements because I'm lazy.
I struggle with that too.
I buy them all because I'm like,
I know, I buy them all and I look at them.
this will help me. Have I opened it? You should see downstairs.
Oh, I have a whole cupboard full of
It's
supplements.
the same with the
It's a joke.
organisation things. If I buy it, it will help, but then I don't use it, take it.
I know. I struggle so much. I have to set an alarm. What's a common mistake people make with their beauty routines that could actually be doing more harm than good?
Well, look, this is kind of our fault. Too many products, shopping and changing, too many actives. Because our jobs are to edit down the market, we're frequently giving recommendations, but I think people take that on as, oh, I'll get all of it.
Yes.
But it's like, no, if you're looking for a vitamin C serum, these ones are good. And I might tell you about other ones soon. And
Well, there's so much newness and we have to report on it. And that's, we're feeding the cycle.
But everyone that comes to your beauty is like, okay, I've got all these steps and they've got like 16 hyaluronic acids, 400 balm cleansers, and then their skin's freaking out. So I think You don't need a huge routine and you don't need to spend a lot of money. We just have a lot of products and have a lot of recommendations because that's what we do to try and tell you. So out of the thousands of products out there, we might tell you 50 that are great.
How many deliveries do you get a day?
Some go to Mamma Mia, some come here. I would say probably 30 a week.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even just being on top of the rubbish, like all the packaging,
don't.
not the rubbish, but like all the packaging, and you just feel so
in an
guilty.
apartment in lockdown, and the neighbours knocked on my door and said to my husband, "Can you tell your wife to stop online shopping because she's taking up all the bin space?" And
he must think you're nuts.
And he was like, "It's work stuff, like, but it's true. Please, if you're in PR, brown paper bag, no huge box, no fancy thing, because it's ruining the planet and it's filling."
And they'll do 2 boxes. They'll do like a shiny, nice box inside of another box,
which is made of Perspex or got foam in it. They can't.
It drives me
one of my
mental.
good friends at Mamma Mia, her husband is like the head of recycling at Sydney, and she said 99% of what I'm sent PR-wise is not recyclable in terms of those boxes, because if it's got a film.
Yes, the film. Oh my gosh.
Please don't. It makes us really
upset. I agree. I get
we don't need fancy shiny landfill.
And then Damien now won't do the right, like he's like, you have to flatten every box, and I'm like, they're going, you know, like
if it's flattenable. Oh yeah.
But you can't always flatten them.
Our red and yellow bins alternate fortnightly, and mine's full after 2 days.
Yeah, same.
So please don't add to landfill.
Please.
And like if you're shopping online, Mecca, Zara, you can tick like reusable or eco packaging. Like you don't need the fancy box.
You don't.
Always choose the reusable box.
Good point. Absolutely. Are there any specific beauty practices or products that you'd advise people to avoid, especially if they have sensitive skin or other conditions?
Yeah, I mean, I guess sensitive, you'd have to find the right vitamin A. It's just finding what's right for you. Sensitive could be all sorts of things. You know, if you're sensitive when you're pregnant, you might have rosacea. Not really.
Just trying to get a clicky headline.
Yeah. I think just research. You know, I think definitely what you might need to avoid is different to what I might need to avoid. You know, my skin doesn't like clays. I don't really do clay masks. I'd never.
So there's no trend out there that you're seeing everyone doing, and you're just like,
well, I wish everyone would stop using the pipette from the serum and dropping it straight on their face. That is not how you apply serum. Someone started that on social media. 2 drops there, pat, pat, pat. If the pipette touches your skin, it has got germs. And also you're wasting all your beautiful, delicious serum. You don't need that many drops.
That's a good one. I love it.
Don't do that.
No. How do you prioritize self-care, or you don't?
Depends what self-care is. I mean, you know, if self-care is what it's meant to look like yoga and green juice, then I don't.
No.
But for me, self-care is my McDonald's, which I love.
Oh, yes. We're going to go right into sacred tips.
That.
Yes.
Listening to podcasts. I love driving and listening to podcasts.
Like driving?
I love driving. Yeah. Well, Mum.
Do you ever just go, because you got to
Mum lives an hour and a half out. Annoyingly, no, I mean, it's beautiful to have my son, but I'm not allowed to listen to grown-up podcasts with him. Although we listen to something called Fact Detectives. It's a kids podcast.
Great.
It's you subscribe to it, but they're about 15 minutes episodes hosted by these 2 little girls, and they have an expert on. I have learnt more on Fact Detectives than I've learnt at school.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking this up.
There's one on skeletons, on the history of Halloween, gems.
Fine.
He loves it and I love it.
That's great.
So I just love driving with a podcast. That's self-care to me.
That's great.
Instant coffee.
Bubble baths? No, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I have a bath every single evening because to me it signifies the end of the
every night.
work day and the start of the home day
And it
night.
takes away the pain in the body.
Yeah, but then I'm so ADHD. I get in there and then I'm like, I'm hot, I'm bored. And it's not a long bath. And of course I've got my phone.
It's a water immersion, I find.
Yeah, it
sort
just
of like
feels
cleansing.
Yeah, it's cleansing and like it just is like, okay, that bit's done.
Yeah.
I love a bath.
Okay, let's talk through your sacred 6.
Okay. So some are products and some are like things.
Totally. Practices.
Okay,
whatever.
well, obviously we have to start with Brillo Beauty. So this is the magnesium spray, which I didn't really want to add to the line. Tegan said, let's do a magnesium spray. And I was like, really?
And I told you I use that every night too.
Well, it works.
It does. Is it that what's making my sleep better? Because I think it is. Like I also do magnesium in the bath.
Yes, I do magnesium in the bath. So, well, it definitely helps me. So it's a spray, but it's suspended in oil. So it's magnesium chloride, which is what you want. You don't want just like Epsom salt. You spray it on your achy bits. So if you are pregnant, you know, hips and belly or restless legs, obviously we're not pregnant. Shoulders. Magnesium chloride is a salt, so it's itchy, so it might tingle a bit.
Yes, and that often means you're deficient. If it's itching, that means you need it more.
Rich can drown himself in this.
It doesn't itch.
And it's fine, but he's got thick Greek skin. I have to put it on the soles of my feet.
Yeah, I can't do the shoulders.
No, it's so itchy. I do the soles of my feet, but as it's a salt, it will dry your feet out. So you've just kind of anywhere else. So you've just got to, even though it's suspended in oil, change the place. I do 1 to 2 sprays. I get in bed, I spray my feet, I do that, and then I go underneath, and then Rich is like, can you get, I'm like, no, I've done this
Not
right.
moving. Yeah, I can't get up.
It actually works.
So good.
The second is quarter pounders.
I love this.
Because with ADHD, you have safe foods, and they're not related to calories, but they are reliable.
I don't know about this.
Oh, yeah. So Mia's peanut butter toast. She's had peanut butter toast every lunch for 20 years. It's reliable. It always tastes the same. It's
Maybe
easy to
like
make.
Vegemite toast.
Yeah, it's easy to make, or for me, it's on DoorDash.
Yeah.
And I really like it because, and I'd have 4 a week. And then when I travel, I always have them because I'm not good with, I love holidays, but I'm not good with travel because I'm discombobulated and not usually in control. And so I feel like because it tastes the same no matter where I am, it makes me feel calm. And so that's why, I mean, I wish it was a salad, but they
satisfy you.
It's something predictable. And oftentimes people with ADHD will have a propensity for junk food. Again, dopamine. But it's the love of my life.
Apart from the humans
Everyone
and the cats.
else. Yeah, no, I don't have to make it. It's fast, reliable.
I love that. I love it.
What else? I have a Vita Glow. So saying I don't take supplements is not true. I mean, I don't take the ones that are for my brain, my heart, like all those good things, but I'll always take something for my skin because even if I'm a hot mess, I want to try and help. Lots and lots of excellent studies show that hydrolyzed marine collagen does work for hair, skin and nails, and my hair grows very fast. So I take Vita Glow. I used to do paid partnerships with them 2 years ago and haven't since, and I'm a full paying customer. So sometimes I have the regular flavors and I'll have 2 or 3 a day, or this is their new advanced one.
Yeah, I've
Pro Collagen
tried
Plus. It's very expensive, really expensive, but I spend money on that. And you have one a day.
Or do you put it in water?
I just put it in my water.
And
yeah,
is there a flavour on that one?
No flavour. So you could put in coffee or
I
a
like the
shake.
coffee ones, yeah.
And they've also got those liquid ones. I'm full paying customer and obsessed with it because I just feel like
Your skin is good.
it's doing something. Well, I don't sleep and I eat quarter pounders. I've got to do something. Alana, my new coach, I wanted to include her because it's something I never thought I would do. And sometimes I'm even like, what are we doing now? Like she's learning me, teaching me how to talk and like act from my vulva. Something because of my feminine, I'm too in my masculine. I don't know.
Wow.
But she's amazing. Like
How do you talk from your vulva?
Well, I don't think the words come out from there, but I don't know
You
yet.
just connect to your vulva when you're thinking, or
Yeah. We're not up to that bit yet. But she has
put
really
sorts of Georgia O'Keeffe all over the walls.
yeah, totally. She has just really taken my mind places and given me things to think about. And oftentimes she'll say something and 3 days later I'll still be thinking about it.
That's amazing. Okay, I need to look her
She's
up.
great, honestly. So that is something I never thought I would do. And, factoring in an hour and a half a week for that when I was like, well, I should be exercising.
and a half?
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
In person?
No, she's in Queensland online.
That we can
But
do that now.
I don't
digital.
cry. I cry once a year. And out of the 10 sessions I've had with her, I've sobbed 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
That feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes, but also then I'm trying to hold it back and she's like, no, this is what we're going there. Yeah. So she's great. What else do I have? I have my Apple Watch I can't live without. Because I have ADHD, I lose my phone all the time, but also I get distracted by my phone, which I also love. So I've custom set up this to have calls from mum, Rich, and preschool. No WhatsApp, text messages from certain people. When I lose my phone, I can do the where's my phone.
Yeah, that would be a game changer for me.
Oh my God, do you not have that? So if you've lost your phone, which
I use it several times a day.
Yep, so you just go, except oh my God, that's on upside down. No. You go like that. Oh, no, that's going to call the police. You just go like that.
Oh,
Yeah. I need that
genius.
on my whole life.
yeah. I want to set that up on Google Home because apparently you can do that.
Yeah, it's just,
Hey, Google, where's
it's
my
great.
phone?
And my boss. And so I've got like the things I need if shit's going
Yes.
down so I can actually do that. So my screen time's gone down a lot.
Great.
Yeah. What else do I have? No, that's 5.
Is it?
Vita
Okay.
Glow, magnesium spray, Alana, Apple Watch.
Oh, yes, you're right,
Oh,
sorry.
and do not disturb now that I know how to do that.
Yep.
The last one is alone time
Oh.
/ time with Cookie, my cat, because I never get it. And I used to live alone in an apartment, but I felt lonely. And now I think there's a difference between being alone and lonely. And I just crave alone time. And I think a lot of mums do, particularly when we show up a lot on social media and we're sharing a lot of ourselves. And then we're sharing ourselves with our husbands and our families and our work. And, podcast is sharing, articles is sharing. I just want to be alone.
Yes.
And,
And quiet.
and just quiet or just potter. I love alone time. It is so good for my brain. I go into my wardrobe and I potter around, and oftentimes Alexander is there trying on my shoes. But if I'm alone, a few weeks ago, Rich was like, you need alone time. He and Alexander went for a staycay in the city, and I was alone in the house on a weekend, which just doesn't...
For a whole weekend?
An overnight. So to wake up and not have someone screaming for Weet-Bix bites at 5 a.m. I just really crave that. And then time with Cookie, my beautiful cat. He's 9. And Monster, she's great too. But Cookie has been there through the loss of my dad. He sat on my shoulder through every miscarriage, every cry. He is just my soulmate in a cat.
He's so beautiful.
He
is the most beautiful cat.
Me,
Got to get
Cookie,
some video of him.
Oh, yeah, we'll find him. They're my essential 6. Some healthy, some not so much.
They're beautiful. I really like the alone time because it's something we don't
really rarely get it. And I don't really want to be doing I don't want it to be Pilates. I just want to potter.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like that's amazing. Well, that is
Sorry, I
amazing.
can talk a lot, can't I?
How long is this interview?
Like 2 hours.
An hour and a half.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, everybody.
No, it's not. It's all really good stuff. I'm going to struggle to edit it down.
Okay.
Maybe we need 2 episodes.
Yeah, that was so fun.
was
And
so
hey,
fun. Thank you.
congratulations. You should be so
you.
proud. I know how hard it is to open yourself up and be vulnerable, particularly when you've been like, this is what beauty is, and now this is inside me, and it's hard. But look at all the people you're helping. It's so joyful and worth it.
Thank you. That makes
I'm very proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Beautiful Inside. If you enjoyed this, the best thing you can do is share it with a friend, leave a review, or give us a rating.